Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now. I am Dr. Michael Hartley, a non-medical type of doctor. I operate on business, and today's focus is mastery. You see, when we understand and then consistently execute or implement the fundamentals, the mastery level of life and of business, it allows us to move forward at a much greater pace. And so if we are not masters at the fundamentals, chances are when we start to get into more complex levels of business, it's just going to cause chaos. So in an effort to reduce that chaos, we start with what we call mastery. And if there's only one thing that you focus on for the remainder of this year, it is to get yourself to the point where you are implementing, where you are consistent, where you have a routine around looking at each of these next 5 areas. So we're going to talk through the 5 areas to master in the fundamentals of life and of business. First one is going to be destination. You see, there are 2 exits to every business. You have the first exit where the business is working without you. And then you have the second exit, which is where you then sell it. Oftentimes, these 2 exits don't happen at the same time. In fact, when the business begins to work without you, the value of the business itself actually increases. It's one of those weird things where it's like, the less often you're in your business, the more value it actually has. The reason being is because an investor can walk in and buy it versus selling it to somebody who is in your industry, or maybe even a practitioner or technician of the business itself. Do you actually own a business, or do you just work for yourself? Are you honestly just self-employed? How many hours a week are you working in your business right now? And wherever you're at, just be conscious of the fact that that's where you're at, and then be intentional with where you desire to go, which is why destination, having clarity around at what point am I going to have my business work without me? At what point am I going to sell it? How much do I want to sell it for? What does the team look like? How many customers are we working with? What does our revenue and profit look like? What am I taking as an owner in dividends and passive income because I'm working an hour a week and the business is doing its thing? Most individuals overestimate what can be done in a single year and underestimate what can be done in 10. When you look at where you were, think back. For some of you, this will be very recent. For some of you, it's been a little bit of time. Think about where you were at as a senior in high school. When you walked into school, your senior year, how much have you grown since second grade, 10 years previous? You've physically matured, you've emotionally matured, you've grown in knowledge, you've increased your know-how on how to actually take knowledge and implement it into life, especially if you were into any sort of extracurricular things like sports or academia, things like that. And so if you showed up to your senior year of high school and everyone else in your class was a second grade, you'd look at this and go, this is stupid, right? Like, this is asinine. Why in the world am I here with people who are not where I'm at? And yet, as soon as we graduate college or leave high school and we hit, we start to get into adulthood, we tend to plateau. We tend to think, oh, this is where I'm at forever. And yet 10 years from today, 10 years from the day you watch this right now, your life can be massively different. It begins with looking at mastery level of business and hitting these fundamentals in a routinely consistent basis. That is where we are looking for you to get to. So again, even if it takes the rest of this year, you're investing the rest of this year, the rest of this month, the rest of today, the rest of this week into becoming the person you need to become to have the life 10 years from now that you desire to have. So thinking through, what is a realistic time frame for me to work through the destination of my business, to have clarity on it, to understand where I'm actually heading? What does the vision of the business look like? What does by the way, vision, a 100-year goal in 10 words or less, massive goal, massive opportunity, something that you may not actually see come to fruition, something that the person you sell or pass your business down to may see happen. Destination, be very, very intentional with what that looks like. Then we get to number 2, which is money mastery. There are 3 levels of goals in life: run away from, run towards, and legacy. When you master money, it allows you to no longer have level 1 goals of run away from goals. I don't want to be bankrupt. I don't want to be paying, living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to always be fearful of, am I going to get the next job, the next contract, the next client? You see, when you master money, when you understand, you have a budget, a dashboard that you're looking at consistently, you can project things more properly. When you have recurring revenue in your business, understanding what are the right ratios I should be looking at for my style of business, understanding your cost per lead, CPL, your cost per acquisition, CPA, understanding what each of these actually mean. And there are an abundance of numbers to understand your business, because I want you to write this down. Business is math. And if you don't know the math, you don't know the score. You're unable to read the scoreboard of your business to understand where you're actually heading, which causes level 1 goals. If I'm just running away from things I don't like, slowly you start getting more towards level 2 goals, which is what I'm running towards, what I desire to have. I desire to have 100 grand just sitting in the bank just in case, $500,000 just sitting in the bank just in case. I desire to have these level of investments and investment properties and 5 businesses that are running without me. And understand what the numbers actually look like and what that means to my life and my family and my kids and my relatives and everyone around me when I'm actually doing, how many people am I employing and how many people am I making their life better, where they know they have a paycheck every single day. They don't have to worry about pandemics because we're pandemic proof, those kind of things. You are able to begin running towards that, which then leads you innately to level 3 goals, which is legacy. What am I leaving behind? You see, when you master money, when you master knowing the numbers in your business, it allows you to give back tenfold. Your goals become, how much am I giving back versus how much am I getting? That is legacy. And for those, very few people actually ever focus on it. And for those that do and get to that level, life becomes very, very different, because it's no longer about me. It's no longer about you. It's about everybody else. When you focus on level 3 goals, you have a higher purpose, going back to vision, destination, all of those things. It all starts to come together. Level number 3 in mastery becomes time. So to do all of these things, we must have time mastery, self-mastery. There's no such thing as time management. There's self-management. I can't manage time. I can't pause it, stop it, rewind it, fast forward it. Can't skip ahead. Can't go skip backwards and redo something. Time is an ever constant moving forward. We can, though, master ourselves and how we apply ourselves to the time that we're given. Every hour counts. It all matters. Where are you investing your time versus spending your time? If I gave you a bucket of time and actually like here is what it is when you are born, and every hour of every day you're giving a dollar back of this time currency. And at some point that goes away. And we're unable to add more time currency to our bucket. We're only ever able to give it out every hour of every day. How much more with that mindset would you be investing your time every moment versus spending it? Especially when you look at the destination that you desire for yourself and your family, the money mastery to understand that what does the math look like in my business to be able to exponentially grow it and lead me towards legacy goals. How much more will you invest your time versus spend it? And there's a lot of tools and resources that we have on each one of these things to give you, to provide clarity on your plan to move forward, and then coach you, hold you accountable to actually doing it. Number 4 is delivery. Every customer, every time, consistently delivering. And here's a key point. You hear you want to under promise, over deliver. Statistically, you only want to over deliver a limited number of times in specific situations, because if you are always over delivering, it actually has a negative, it puts negative seeds in your customers' minds, and it starts their mindset shifting about, well, man, they keep just giving me more. So am I actually overpaying for what they're doing, for what I'm getting, or what's going on? The perceived value of what you're offering actually decreases when you are consistently over delivering. So be cautious of that to make sure that you are hitting, statistically, you want to hit what you promise, and every once in a while over deliver. So what does that actually look like? How do you become how, as your business exponentially grows, how do you keep a keen eye on consistent delivery every customer, every time? Which then leads us to the fifth, which is mindset. Becoming the person you need to be, making sure that this entire thing up here is where it needs to be on a daily basis. Because if your mindset is not healthy, nothing else probably will be in your business and candidly in your life. I put this intentionally here. Our ego has us locked into defending our perspective over creating our own peace. The most successful people in the entire world check their ego at the door. They become the constant student, the forever learner. They're able to say, okay, if someone's challenging me on something, how do I check my ego at the door and become a student in the moment? How do I get past becoming defensive and instead replace that becoming defensive, replace that with becoming open? I had a chance to witness an extremely successful individual get coached a couple days ago, actually 3 days ago to be specific, from the day this is getting recorded. And what was amazing to me, ridiculously successful individual, millions of dollars hit his bank account every single year. What was interesting to me, and for what it's worth, his goals are level 3 goals. He gives back. He's actually like created his own charity in Uganda. Like, he gives back exponentially, him and his family, because of where they're at in life. And to watch him be coached, and for him to go, oh, hold on, he picks up a pen and paper, goes, I'm taking notes. For him to just check the ego at the door and go, okay, I'm here to learn. How can I grow and become even better at what my team does, what I do in leadership and those kind of things, to getting us? And it was like, oh man, just watching that was fascinating. So what areas of life do you need to learn to check your ego at the door, to fix and focus, to get out of a fixed mindset and into a growth mindset, to focus on having a mindset of going, okay, positive. I'm going to take that negativity. I'm going to reshift the focus so it'll actually help me grow and learn, because negative mindsets hold us back. I'm not going to get into a plateau place, because when we plateau, our business is actually decreasing and dying. So how do I consistently have my mindset in the right path on a daily basis? What are those things that I must focus on shifting my mindset on that I need growth in? I am in the process of fill in the blank, whatever that may be. So what does that look like in your life? What does mastery level of life and business look like when you are consistently focused on these 5 areas, getting them to the place where they need to be, where you desire for them to be, where you're in the process of getting them to? You see, when you are truly focused on every one of these 5 areas on a consistent basis with both you and your team and your future team, and you hold them accountable for them to be focused on these same things for their own life, and how your business and being an employee of your business leads their life to that point. When you are focused on these things, it allows the rest of the complexity of business that may happen. It makes it a whole lot easier. So focus on the simple things. Get really, really, really good at the simple things. So that way, when the rest happens, the core foundation of what you've built is rock solid. Only those who have the patience to do simple things perfectly will acquire the skill to do difficult things easily. Only those who have the patience to do simple things perfectly will acquire the skill to do difficult things easily. But Mr. Schiller, what I would shift in his amazing quote, other than the slight typo, is the word perfect. Perfection is something that we create in our minds. It's something that doesn't actually exist. And so instead of focusing on being perfect, it's about being excellent at the simple things, doing the best we possibly can on a consistent basis. I am in the process of increasing my mastery level of life and business. That is your I am statement for the week. I am in the process of increasing my mastery level of life and business. Go outline where you need focus on most importantly, most immediately within those 5. Focus on all 5 consistently. Put into the chat, put into the comments the one that you're going to focus on most intently this week. I am Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business and enhance your lifestyle and make it a phenomenal rest of your day.